This is why men avoid women that are after 30 years old and that have been through trauma, that are in their healing stage. Before this video before I even explain it, let me promise you that I don't make this video with the intent of being offensive. I'm saying this with all honesty. I'm speaking for men that kind of don't want to say it because they do fear being canceled, or want to say it and don't know how to say it without sounding offensive. And my goal is to explain this without sounding offensive at all. And hopefully, it could be understood and respected. Why do men avoid women that are after 30 and that are in the healing stage? Note that although I say avoid, I don't mean that men completely would reject these women. Men do give these women chances, and I would recommend men give these women chances, but I'm just merely saying why men typically avoid it. Because typically when men, and let me emphasize good men, because there are a lot of bad men that contributed to damaging these women. So when good men give these women a chance, and it's not that these women are bad, it's just that good men feel like these women are in a condition or position to be in a relationship with a good guy that doesn't bring much baggage and things like that. Before you get offended or anything like that, just hear me out. This may help you understand, if you're a woman in your 30s, this may help you understand, why things are how they are, because maybe you've been feeling this, but no guy has taken the chance to properly explain it. Now, when you're a woman, just be real with yourself. I want to ask you a question. You have certain, if you were to write down some characteristics of a perfect guy, right? That you let's say would maybe want to be with, like a perfect guy that you would want to be with. You'll probably have a height requirement. Let's say at least 6'4". You would probably have a salary requirement. Let's say, I don't know, $200,000 a year or more, or even $1 million a year, and so on. You'll probably say no kids and so on, right? Now, that's not to say that if you get with someone that's not that height requirement or salary requirement, it doesn't mean that you won't possibly take that person serious or appreciate that person. You just probably had some preferences, and you didn't get that preference of a guy that you wanted. But it doesn't mean that you don't appreciate that guy that you're currently with, or the typical guys that you date. Now, I use that example to show you how men typically prefer women that are a little young, 22, no kids, no trauma. But it doesn't mean that they won't take a chance on a woman that is 30 or above, that has been through trauma. And it doesn't mean that he won't appreciate that, and at least give it a try and be loyal to that. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that there has been many times that I have given women, in their 30s, many tries and chances, and took chances and things like that. So women can't get offended that guys naturally have a preference of a woman, just like they naturally have a preference as a guy. Let me keep saying that I'm not saying this to sound offensive or anything, but when I tell you that a man values peace, I say that in all my videos. Like peace to a man is more valuable than gold, more valuable than diamonds, more valuable than cars, and so on. The last thing that a man wants to have to deal with is uncertainty, right? And when women typically hit the age of 30, it actually, I would even say 28 is typically, but let's say 30, it is a high chance that they have been through a lot of trauma, right? And it's not necessarily their fault that they've been through trauma, right? It's not necessarily their fault that they've been through trauma. It's actually, guys that lied to them. I don't excuse bad guys in none of my videos, and also in real life. It's actually guys that lied to them and that promised them certain things and didn't fall through with their promise and either left them brokenhearted or with kids or maybe with an STD or whatever the bad guys that I'm not excusing left them with. But a lot of times the women in their 30s, they just been through bad guys. I feel I have no voice to say who to blame. Like, of course I don't condone bad guys like at all. Like, trust me, I don't condone bad guys at all. But if I'm being honest, I also feel like maybe some women have passed on like some good guys to be with, like that bad guy that a lot of women want. And I'm not saying that that's the case all the time, but I am admitting that there are bad guys. But just understand that it's hard to interact with a woman, or especially be in a relationship or date a woman that has been through trauma with bad guys. You're going to women, and this is why the title of this video, Women After 30, and especially like healing women, it all coincides, right? Like, it's all related. So when women deal with bad guys, they hit like later ages, like 30, and they go through what we call healing stages. And healing stages is a real thing. Healing stages is when women typically avoid dating, like go on breaks, or they actually do date, but they go through periods of, I need to like think things through. Women typically go through periods of even while they're dating, they go through periods of they have to, because of the trauma that past men have caused them, they go through periods of thinking. Sometimes, most of the times, overthinking, but they go through periods of wondering if that next guy is probably going to do what that past guy, the past number of guys did. And that's understandable. I don't blame you for going through your healing trauma, but like, a lot of women gotta understand, like, from a man's point of view, right? If a man is dating a woman at 30, let's say 30, right? And let's say a man is like educated, right? One of the things that I'm educated on is the safe pregnancy age range, right? Safe pregnancy age range is typically like 18 to 29, right? Maybe 30. And what that means is every year after 30, it increases the chance of, if that woman has a pregnancy and gives birth, it increases the chances that that baby is going to be born with some kind of abnormal condition, such as maybe developmentally disabled and so on. I don't want to sound offensive and name all the things that could happen, the abnormal conditions that could happen. But yeah, like maybe the baby might need 24/7 requirement care, and through even youthhood and maybe even adulthood and whatnot. Every 5 years for sure, the percentage increases significantly, right? So that's one thing, right? So when a man is dating a woman in her 30s, he's already pushing like time, right? Like basically, it's, if a man doesn't have kids and might want kids or even want to think about it, he's already working with such a short amount of time, just being honest, right? Based on safe pregnancy age range. So if you compare that with, let's say, a 23-year-old, right? Let's say a 30-year-old compared to a 23-year-old. With a 23-year-old lady, a man is going to have a lot more time to one, think about pregnancy, to two, card the girl, like basically get to know the girl for pregnancy, to decide if he wants to have a baby with, or if she wants to have a baby, and three, to actually have the pregnancy, right? It's a lot more time. So I'm not saying that, again, I'm not downing women in their 30s saying that I wouldn't take a chance, because I would. But when you're dealing with a woman that would go through breaks because of the healing stage, you gotta, like the guy's sacrifice of possibly not having kids, like that's a big sacrifice, like for a guy to possibly not have kids because it's not enough time to think, it's not enough sufficient good time to where he could decide like, oh, okay, we know for sure what we are, because those healing stages, like when women need breaks for those healing stages, anything could happen in those healing stages, right? Anything could happen. Like the woman could decide like, yo, I want this relationship to end, right? And then like, what is a guy is possibly going to be asked out, excuse my language, right? So it's just for looking just at that, right? That's the reason why guys typically avoid the 30 and the healing stage, because a 23-year-old probably hasn't been through much trauma to where she'll need a healing stage much, but also you got more time to decide for pregnancy. Men need to learn detachment, right? That's important. Men have to learn detachment, because let's say you're dealing with a woman and you really got love for her, like it's been good times, and let's say you're dealing with a woman that's going through a healing stage and she wants either a break or to break up because her mind is not in a like right place, right? The most dangerous thing a man could do is fight for it, right? And I know a lot of women are going to say like, dang, I want a man that's going to like fight for this relationship. Men go to jail for that. That's called harassment, right? It's a lot of men that are in situations, got restraining orders because of holding on to hope, as you would say, right? And fighting for their relationship. More than likely, especially with this new time, this cancel culture, these new, and I'm not saying nothing's wrong with it, this women rights stuff, right? A lot of men are going to go to jail. They're going to get restraining orders if they fight for a relationship that a woman says she either need a break from or doesn't want anymore. So you could look at it like, damn, a man could probably like waste his time. So I always, in my video, I made a video in numerous videos saying that men need to learn detachment, and it doesn't necessarily mean that a man is a bad person. It just means that adapting with this time means you gotta, especially if you got a good heart, you gotta learn detachment, because the last thing you want to do is mess up your career or anything, dealing with or fighting for something that doesn't want to be like, that she doesn't want to happen anymore. So men have to learn detachment, right? Yeah, just even hearing this, like, I'm pretty sure you guys either know someone that's been in this kind of situation. I have been in this kind of situation. I'm currently in this kind of situation, or you're in the situation, right? Like, a lot of women have to understand that when you're 30 and you need time, you know, to think, and you got to understand that a lot of time for a man, when women typically say they need time to think or something, it doesn't like always like end well, right? So men gotta look out for themselves. Same way women have to look out for themselves, men have to look out for themselves, because anything can happen, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad guy. So when you're 30 and you're going through like you need a break or something, or you need to think, men gotta look at it like, man, anything can happen. So that opens to the door for men. Look, you guys gotta also understand that a 30-year-old man is an 18-year-old woman. And what I mean by that is that at 18, that was 18 to 21, that's the woman's like prime age to where a lot of men are going to want her, right? And she's going to have a lot more opportunity to do what she wants, especially in the dating market, right? And it's going to be hormones that's going to make that moment exciting. Now, men typically have that kind of like dating advantage at age 35, right? And above, to where they have the options for them, and their hormones, you know, spike up because of the options that they're getting. And can you blame them for wanting to live that advantage of a life that you had. Could you, the same way you didn't want to be judged, would you judge a man for turning in his 30s and having options and wanting to live that, right? Now, of course, a man could do women wrong, right? Now, let's say it's a good guy that's like dating a woman in her 30s and she's just been through like trauma and you know, she needs that time to think, right? And then let's say like a guy that's experienced with life understands that time to think could mean that, yo, this relationship could end. Now, a guy's not going to, like a smart guy, especially in this time and day, is not going to put too much eggs into hope, because hope doesn't get us nowhere these days, right? Hope lands you in jail. It lands you in harassment, restraining orders, or things like that, right? So you got to, when women have to understand that when you bring up those, you know, when you need a break, or I get it, I understand that, but when you need time to think, you got to understand, what is a guy thinking, right? So that guy might, you know, when you're in your 30s and you tell, you know, you tell him you need a break, you need to think, just imagine like the possibility of how he has to look out for himself. Like, he might be at the gym and, you know, the universe might align like a 23-year-old that hasn't been through like much trauma to be in a conversation with him, and that could open the door for a lot of possibilities, right? And I just explained, you know, like what like a 23-year-old could provide more time for that guy, and like how that could, you know, like turn into something there. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying in this video. Hopefully it doesn't sound offensive. Hopefully it turns on your thinking, and yeah, hopefully I don't get canceled. Just hopefully y'all get what I'm trying to say, and hopefully we can have these conversations, and hopefully women understand why men typically do avoid women that are 30 and older and that have been through much trauma. I'm not saying that men should judge them, because like it was bad men in the first place that got them the trauma, and I give them no excuse. I think that those men are horrible. I give them no excuse. Trust me. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm just saying, like, for the good guy, you just got to understand why it's important that he looks out for himself, you know, because good people get hurt, because hurt people. I got a video that explained that. And if you've been hurt, you might indirectly, even though you didn't intentionally do it, you might, you know, if you're a woman that have been hurt, you might hurt, you know, a good guy. And if you're a good guy that's been around hurt women that only know about hurt, you might turn into a guy that hurt a good woman. So yeah, like, that's the reason why men typically avoid women in their 30s and women that have been through trauma and are in that healing stage, man. I would love to expand this conversation. I would love to talk to you guys about this. I would love for you to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the page if you guys want me to keep talking about these things. Comment what you honestly think. Do I sound offensive? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you disagree with what I'm saying? Turn on your notification bell for more videos and topics like this, because there's not a lot of people that know how to talk about these things, or they feel like they're going to get canceled, or they might actually do get canceled, and it might affect like their job and their career and things like that. So a lot of men just typically avoid it. So yeah, man, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, like the video, and comment what you think. Peace out, y'all.